Well, after all these years, Ogden still carries that torch for Sally. I wish I'd been so lucky. Things I should have done.
You were busy with the museum, Morris. And you did walks, and you did fetch, and belly rubs, and...
Yeah, all right, yes. I was very busy. Thank you for reminding me.
You did plenty. But now you need to find the next custodian.
Hey, how long has Aggie been custodian?
Oh, a little while now. You've met her, actually.
I have?
Well, her body, anyway. In the museum.
What? Her body? In the museum? Oh, wait!
That's right, Morris.
The Bog Lady. The Bog Lady of Shelmerston. But that's Aggie?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's her body anyway. Her spirit is all around us, of course.
But Aggie is Bronze Age. 3,000 years. She's been custodian all that time?
Yep.
Wow. No wonder she's tired.
More tired every minute. We need to get to the next prospect. Greg Litherland, at the campsite.
Greg. Okay.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. The noobest gamer of them all here, Gamer Noob, continuing on playing through I Am Dead. Because once again, I am feeling dead this week. So let's go ahead and continue on finding our prospect to man the volcano. Finding Mr. Greg Litherland. Nabhill campsite. Now let's see if I can remember how to play.
I never spent much time at. I never cared for camping. Although we did find a lot of Bronze Age goods down here. Really fascinating bits and bobs. I reckon this was an important place once. And not just to shellers.
Oh, there's so many great smells here. Oh, and so many rabbits to chase. Stop it, Sparky, you have a job to do.
You know, I suppose I do like it better up here now I don't have to worry about combing all those burrs out of your fur. At least this part of Shelmerston isn't changing too much.
Yes. Now let's sniff out Greg.
Yeah, I always found Greg a bit difficult. That business with the owl of his.
He wasn't a bad guy at heart. Just liked animals a bit more than people, sometimes. Maybe. But who can blame him? Let's find some people who remembered him. Dig a little deeper.
Memories of Greg Litherland. Here we come.
Let's see if I can remember how to play. Greg ran Nabhill campsite where his prickly demeanor and insistent on rules were notorious. He was a keen bird watcher, nature lover, and campaigner for the protection of Morlos. A huge fan of shallow racing, Greg captured the excitement of sport with his photographs. Somebody seems to be napping. Nope, wrong one. Edie Newen, campsite owner.
I only knew Greg briefly, from the summer that I took over the campsite and he retired. He seemed harmless enough, if a bit strange, living in that nasty little caravan.
What was so nasty about it?
As part of his official handover process, he gave me a big box of rule books that I was apparently supposed to give every camper when they arrived. I couldn't believe them. The amount of inches apart each tent had to be, the angle of pitch, permitted colours of guy ropes. No skipping ropes, marbles, conkers or throwing games. No singing with hand drums.
He sounds like a stickler.
I built a huge fire on the beach, invited the whole site for a big party and burned the lot. But then, awkward, Greg showed up. I guess he'd been collecting some things from his caravan and came to see what the noise was all about. You could tell he wasn't comfortable, but he sat down and tried to make conversation. I told him how beautiful I thought Shelmerston was, and he started telling me all about the wildlife here and the best places to spot birds. He was actually quite a sweet guy. He must have noticed what we were burning, but he never mentioned it. That was the last time I saw him. I always felt a bit guilty. I mean, I got him wrong. He wasn't that bad.
And you were an asshole.
Well, it's a good thing she kept one of them. It must be around here somewhere.
Yes. Let's try the bookcase, perhaps? I just couldn't see it. Because I was looking in the wrong place, I guess.
What's this about dogs having to be on leads the whole time? Outrageous.
Right, did I miss somebody in here?
I'm getting the scent of Grenkins again, Morris. I'll pop up to let you know when we're close to one.
All right. And I will search for them. That looks like a sink. I don't think it's that one. No. Play box. Luchador. That doesn't look like anything in here. Perhaps it's something that doesn't look like a sink. Wrong way. Ah, here we go. $20. Oh, just 8. I don't know. After having 14 at the last one, I just felt like 20 seemed like a good number. Let's see. Ah, okay. I don't think that's anything on the outs. Well, the shrooms, perhaps? No. God, I don't even remember looking at anything remotely. Is it this thing? Yes. Perhaps from the top? Ooh, this one's hard. Actually, it's this way. There we go. That looks like a tiny you-know-what. Jackie Clark. Jack, you look like you need some help there. Classic design, cutting edge technology, timeless fun. Shroomy Turbo Tank, Bivalve Golden Heart, El Gran Caballero Jr., the nippy Scuttler 100, and last season's Old Banger. Lance Bassington. Mia Chasworth. Anton Cox. Oh god, that looks very uncomfortable. I am a banana. Like, comment, and subscribe if you get that reference. Ooh, we are halfway on our quest to find the Grunkins. Ah, finally. Sanchia Playfair. Sanchia?
Miles and I came to Shelmerston for the Sheller Cup final. Miles was the world champion for ages. Greg, the campsite manager, was a huge Sheller fan. Always gave us the best pitch on the campsite. Miles was up early every morning, training for the big race. Greg would always be lurking in the background, taking photos. It became rather annoying. How many photos did he need? Oh God, and one time he turned up at our barbecue and wouldn't leave. The man could not take a hint. So, race day arrives and Greg is there with his camera, of course, getting in everyone's way. So Greg leans out into the track as the pack came past, Miles in the lead. And Miles goes crashing right into Greg. Total disaster. Miles goes down and Kwasi flies past him to win the race. Miles was absolutely gutted. He definitely would have won it.
How can he even see in that horrid shell?
Later that night, all us shellers were on our way back from the pub, and we heard Greg outside his caravan, just sat by himself, crying. Miles, he was such a good sport, went over and spoke to him, invited him over to our camp for a drink.
I didn't register, you bastard.
So then Greg came back and hung out with us, brought his camera and showed us all his sheller race photos. You know, that guy was actually a pretty great photographer. By the end of the night, Miles had forgiven him. Miles was good like that.
Again.
Shellers. I've never understood the appeal of that. Seems bloomin' uncomfortable to me.
Right?
Poor
Especially
old
the one
Greg.
that was bent over.
He was always rubbing people up the wrong way, but he meant well. And he really loved this place.
Triangle. Ah, is it this side with the hot dogs? Ooh, this one's hard. God, I'm not even close. Damn. Maybe that's not it. Right, let me come back to that. Let me find the... Nope, get back over there. Richard Fisher and Sebastian Richards. Pig. I'm missing something. Oh god, we could go inside, Sarah. I swore I hovered over that and it didn't give me the option to click.
Oh, I wish we could use this! I am a very photogenic dog, you know.
Sure, Sparky, sure. Okay, let me figure. Nope, not that one. Not the punch bowl. This. Now let me see if I can't figure this out. There we go. I just wasn't in enough. That's what she said. That's what he said, rather. Arthur and Katie. Okay, doesn't look like there's anything there. Pitch 22. Odds and sods. Okay, it must just be a Grenkin here, I guess. Mr. Lockett Grenkin. Wilf Needle and Sandy Needles.
I love camping. We've come to Shelmerston every summer with the kids for years. Okay, our tent is a bit bright, but that means the kids can always see it. Greg seemed angry about everything this year. He told us our tent was outside of the regulation colours, and being around the kids seemed to really upset him. But they were only being kids, just running around playing. Greg was blowing that bloody whistle every 5 minutes. One day, Greg confiscated my little one's kite. He was terrifying. We still sometimes get nightmares about it. I had to do something. When I saw Greg put the whistle down, I pinched it and took out the pea. You know, the thing that makes the noise.
Ah, I know where that is.
I threw that pea somewhere Greg would never find it. You should have seen his face when he blew his whistle and nothing happened.
That's in the oyster tree.
I always wondered how Greg managed to get so good at hand whistling.
Or is it here? Well, maybe I guess it must be here. poo? Oh, do we got to check every one of these? Oh, you've got to be kidding. Ah.
The smell of rabbit poo. It doesn't excite me the way it used to when I was alive.
Well, at least I was able to find the rabbit poo rather quickly, right? Curtis Jackson, birdwatcher.
My whole life I've dreamed of seeing a Jempson's sea owl. One day, I read the news that a guy on this little island called Shelmerson had discovered one. I had to see it. The only B&B on the island booked up really fast, so I decided to stay at the temporary campsite set up by the guy who discovered the sea owl, Greg Litherland. The atmosphere was amazing. There were twitchers from all over the world come to see it. Greg had given the owl a name, David Abrahams. A bit weird, but I guess he was the one who found it. And because it had no mate, it was lonely, and he'd made a model female owl out of concrete. That was quite impressive. I got to know Greg a bit during my stay. He really seemed to resent all the noise and fuss on the island. His island, as he thought of it. And the irony was that he was the one who'd got everyone excited about coming to Shelmerston. Greg told us he'd take us up in groups to the owl's nest site, but I snuck up early with my camera. It saw me and it flew off hooting and I didn't get a picture. I was gutted. I had to make do with a picture of the model. It wasn't the same.
I remember that. All those bird watchers suddenly arriving and nowhere for them to stay. I didn't think Greg had it in him to start a campsite, but he somehow pulled it together.
Ah, there it is. Life-size concrete owl.
Oh, poor old David Abrahams.
My leg is itchy. We've got to go back. Oh, it's Maisie's turn.
My best thing is throwing discs. I am really good. I like playing with Dan and Toddler. It's our favourite thing when we go camping on Shelmerston. One time, Greg Litherland came up the beach, all red-faced like an angry tomato. He pointed at a sign. It said, "No throwing games." He was yelling and shouting at us. He told me to give him my disc, but I wouldn't. I threw it high up into the air, and it went bang into a massive bird. Then the bird fell into the sea.
She murdered him.
I felt so awful. I never meant to hurt the bird. The whole thing was terrible. Mr. Litherland was screaming, He waded into the sea, picked up that bird, and carried it back to the beach. He was crying and crying. I'm sorry, Mr. Litherland.
Oh, Greg. Poor guy. Oh, and that poor bird. I guess that explains why he was always so prickly.
God, am I missing? Ah. Oh, it's not even a ball, it's a disc. No wonder.
I love these things. Reminds me of our walks on the beach.
Oh, I didn't dig deep enough. Oi.
Woof! Okay, I've got his scent. It was quite faint, but I'm a very good dog.
Let's go and find him. I didn't mean to press that button. All right, let's go, Sparky.
Greg! Oh, hello.
Morris, what are you doing here? Oh, hello there, pup.
Hi, Greg.
You can talk now. Rather prefer my animals when they don't talk.
Yeah, Greg, we need to ask you, would you be interested in being the next island custodian? It's a very important job.
Oh, no, absolutely not. This is your mess, and you can sort it out.
My mess? Well, how do you mean?
You dug her up. I warned you, and I warned you when we were still alive that those archaeological digs were a bad idea. And now we know exactly how bad.
Well, now hold on, Greg. That's not how that works.
Oh, isn't it, talking dog? 3,000 years, no eruptions. You dig Aggie up, and then suddenly her grip on the island is weakening. Well, some coincidence that sounds like.
I didn't. I never did.
No. There's
I mean, he's
no way
got a
I'm doing
point.
that job. It's too much obligation, it's not my responsibility, and frankly, one lifetime of humans was plenty for me. Now, I'm going to stay right here until I can find David Abrams.
Fine. Thanks, Greg. See ya, I suppose.
Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, Gregory.
It's not looking good, is it, old girl?
Don't worry, Morris. I hate it when you worry. It makes me nervous.
He's waiting for David Abrams. I guess I'm like him in that way. The most important person in my life wasn't technically a person, more like an island.
Yes, the island. This island. A whole island's worth of people and stories. Not like Greg at all. Everyone loves you.
Really? Well, loved me, perhaps, past tense.
No, they still do. And there's one more person who loves you we need to talk to. Our last prospect. I just know we're getting close now.
Hey, Sparky, how do you know all this stuff? I mean, you're just my dog, aren't you?
Well, nobody is just anything, Morris. I'm mostly the dog you raised, but I'm also kind of a messenger, a scout, part of something bigger. Aggie sent me to help guide you.
Aggie sent you?
No time to explain, Morris. We have to get to the last prospect.
Well, however it came to be, I'm glad I get to spend more time with you, old friend.
So am I, Morris. Now, off to see Samfire down at the harbour.
Ah, Sam. Yeah, lead the way, girl.
Alright, that's going to be it for this video. In our next video, we're going to search for Samfire down at the harbour. So thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and as always, we will see you in the next video.